All right, I'm back. But I'm kind of tired of dealing with both of these cars, and not just both of these cars, the Beetle too. Like all of the Volkswagens are like driving me crazy right now. So, oh my God. So we're gonna try to switch some things up. We're gonna work on one of the BMWs. BMWs are kind of like my happy place. So hopefully, we'll get this car back on the road, and my motivation will hopefully return, and then I can deal with, whatever that is. Yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy.
All right, so it's now even later, and I'm still on the driver's side. Oh my God. So I think they just sent the wrong mounting bracket. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to swap the bracket off of this seized piston, and then hopefully that will work on that caliper. Oh my God, why can't anything ever be like straightforward? All right, so I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see this, but these two are different brackets. This one's way bigger. So, yeah, we're gonna try to reuse this original one. Throw some lube on it. Man, I gotta get in the house. There are way too many mosquitoes out here. All right, so I'm done with that side. Obviously, I'm gonna have to do the other side tomorrow. I'm gonna go for a test drive now because I feel like it. Oh my God.
Next day.
All right, I'm back. It's the next morning. I just woke up. Yeah. So I might actually delete this part because this part is more so like a video editor's note to myself. Because I kind of need to change the scope of this video because the idea was I was going to make 2 videos. One was going to be like the normal vlog, shift happens vlog, or depending on if everything went right. Oh my God, freaking mosquitoes. But depending on if everything went right, the plan was to make 2 videos. One that was kind of a vlog about the E60, and then the other one would be a how-to video on how to do brakes. But yeah, everything went wrong. So this is kind of just a vlog, the normal shift happens vlog where everything just kind of goes wrong all the time. So what ended up happening? The first problem is on this driver's side. This is the one where the tire blew out and where this caliper was seized. So how this came to be, and I probably said it in voiceover because I haven't made the video yet, but I don't know, I guess I'll repeat myself. But back in like October, I got like a partially seized brake caliper, and then I was like, okay, well, it's not like seized all the time, it's only sometimes, so like I can kind of limp it for a week, and then it immediately blew the tire. And so then I ended up parking it. I ordered parts from ECS, and I waited and I waited and I waited and I waited and I waited. And then in March, they canceled my order. And so then I ordered from Rock Auto because they said they had it. And I waited and I waited and I waited. And then in May, it actually showed up. So the first problem that I had yesterday is that the mounting bracket or the caliper holding bracket, it put the caliper so far out on the disc that only half of the pad was contacting the disc. And I think I had a video of it yesterday. The other thing too is I actually couldn't get the wheel on because if you look at the amount of space between the caliper and the barrel of the wheel, I mean, it's not super tight, but there's not a finger's width there. I couldn't get the wheel on because it put the caliper so far out. So what I ended up doing is just swapping the caliper bracket to the old one, lubed the slide pins and everything, and that seems to have worked. The other problem I was having with the brake lines, the annoying thing with BMW brake lines is that the part on the car is supposed to spin. I mean, the problem is I live in Michigan. They salt the roads here. It's always humid. So if it's made out of some type of corrodable metal, it will rust. So the part on the car doesn't spin. I really wish ECS would have made their brake lines more like Hell Performance brake lines instead of like the standard BMW brake lines, just reinforced, because the Hell Performance ones have like a section that spins on the female side on the part where it connects to the car. So if somebody's from ECS is watching, steal their idea. Like that's a great idea, because I'm gonna be honest, probably the next time I do rear brake lines or brake lines in general on one of these cars, I'll be looking for that type of brake line setup because it just makes life so much easier. Because the problem that I was running into was the brake line was binding up, because as you would tighten it into the caliper, it would untighten from the car. And so basically I had to twist the brake line counterclockwise. So then when I put the caliper on and then twisted it to the mounting bracket, then everything was in alignment. That took way too long to do. And the reason why I went through all that silliness is because I didn't really want to like poke the bear and break the brake line on the car and then reline the whole car. So yeah, but anyway, I need to get this other side, or the passenger side, done. There's nothing wrong with the passenger side, but might as well make them symmetrical, right? Seeing how I have all the parts to do it. And I also kind of need to get a move on it. It'll be a little bit easier since I'm not, trying to teach y'all something or like an instructional video. So I should be able to just sit the camera down and go. But if you can't tell, it's a little wet outside because it rained this morning and it's supposed to rain again by 1 p.m. In fact, it looks like it wants to rain now. So I'm gonna get to it before it starts raining again. All right, so I know I said just a few minutes ago that I was planning on making a how-to video, and then I didn't decide to do it. But I actually ended up changing my mind on that. I actually made that video, filmed, edited, it's uploaded. It's actually been posted for maybe about a week now at this point. So everything that you're seeing in the background here is the passenger side. The video that is posted is on the driver's side. And so I'm just going to kind of do like a time lapse and kind of a fast motion while we talk about a few things. In terms of content strategy going forward on the channel, what I probably will do is whenever I do these types of things, I'll try to make 2 videos. I'll try to make a more no nonsense, like this is how you repair or upgrade or change the part type video, and then a vlog video. The reason why I'm kind of looking at doing that is as quite a number of people have kind of aggressively told me on YouTube and on Reddit and all these other places, TikTok and whatnot. Majority of the people who come to my channel, they are looking for specific information, rather if that's them trying to figure out should they buy an M54 or trying to figure out how to fix a specific item on their car, rather if that's a headlight level sensor or in this case the brakes. So all this other nonsense of me talking about my other cars or talking about how I came to need to replace the brakes, all of that stuff is just kind of like an obstacle to them getting what they need out of this video. And so I'm kind of like stripping things back and then splitting the content. If you look at the DIY video, it's a little bit different from my normal content style. I got rid of most of the things that people tend to complain about in videos. So there's no music, there's no me unnecessarily being in the camera just because I like the way my face looks, or whatever you guys say whenever you guys complain that I'm on camera. I will say though, even though you guys do complain every single time I do this, I still do have moments where I joke and laugh and whatnot, because that's who I am. I'm not just suddenly going to become a robot or a ChatGPT or something silly like that. So at the end of the day, you're still watching my YouTube channel, so you're still going to have moments of me being me. I'm sorry, you're going to have to get over that. But for right now, let's just kind of get this brake job wrapped up. All right, so got brakes on the car. It actually went decently well on the other side, because of course that's the side that doesn't need to be replaced, but whatever. Passenger side stuff, everything went fine. Brake lines went fine. They actually sent the correct caliper on the passenger side. It's just that driver's side. Like, I don't know what's going on with that driver's side. Like, that's the side where the caliper had seized. Nobody has that brake caliper. I talked to the BMW dealership. They said it's back ordered, and then it was discontinued. ECS canceled my order, and then Rock Auto took like 2 months to ship it to me, and then it was the wrong one technically. Thankfully, the physical like piston part of the caliper, it's the same, so I was able to just use my old caliper bracket. But I don't know. That's why the name of this series is called Shift Happens, because this type of stuff is always what happens. So and then on top of that, last night you guys saw like I was kind of defeated, so I wanted to go on a little bit of a test drive just to make sure that I fixed that side and I still wasn't having issues with the caliper binding up. And then I drove maybe a quarter mile away from the house, and then the iDrive screen died. The iDrive screen dying is really kind of just annoying, but I can survive without it, right? So, but in terms of like what's keeping this car from driving, got new brakes on and a tire. Oh, and I forgot to tell you guys about how the whole silliness with this tire went down. Oh, okay. My light's green now. Bye. But yeah, so I ended up blowing the tire on the rear driver's side, like I said. And so I actually did get a tire. I actually filmed that video, except for the dude I bought the tire from made me like super angry. So like I was at work, I texted him, he said, okay, yeah, come out here, get the tire. I need you to be here exactly at 4:30 because I have all this stuff to do. So like I get there like 4:20, nice. And so I'm just sitting there, 4:30, 5 o'clock, 5:30, 5:40. I text him, I call him. He's like, hey, are you actually here? Yeah, I am. Okay, are you in the Meijer parking lot? I'm in the Meijer's parking lot. Okay, can you come over to the gas station? Came over to the gas station. Still don't see him. Okay, I'm working on it. And then like an hour later, like at 6:40, he shows up. And he's like rushing me. He's all like, man, I don't have time for this. You want to like be looking over this tire, man? I need you to just take it. I told you I got all this stuff to do. Man, you are the guy who had me drive all the way to Lansing. And like the thing that frustrated me was like, I'm all the way out in Lansing. I live 2 hours from Lansing. Now I had worked close to Lansing that day, which is why I chose to meet him there. But it's like, okay, I'm 2 hours away from home. And then you told me to not be late, which I wasn't. And then you're 2 hours late, and then you're rushing me because I want to look at this tire. Like, I'm not just going to give you money and this tire might be tore up on the inside, which I literally just went through with the S4, or all these other things. And so because like he made me like super angry, I didn't actually get like good footage or like anything usable out of that. Because there's a lot of me just sitting in Meijer's parking lot, going to Meijer, walking around. So yeah, but for right now, actually everything feels good. Like the brakes feel great. Like, and like that's the thing about like stainless steel brake lines. Like it's a notable change in feel in the brake pedal. And even though I only have them on the rear, like I can still tell. And so obviously the next part of our braking adventure is to get brakes in the front of this car. But for right now, like basically just going on a test drive. I actually kind of want to stay close to home because just in case something happens, I can walk back home, get the S4 and we can figure something out.
Thank you for choosing Burger King where you rule. Brenda, what are you hungry for today?
But yeah, I think we've kind of like closed the chapter on tire and brake stuff, hopefully, on the E60. Obviously, we got to fix the iDrive screen. So if anybody out there knows any tips, let me know, because that's probably going to be the next video, is wiring stuff. I freaking hate wiring. Like, but anyway, that's kind of the next thing that we're going to have to focus on. And then after that, we can start doing performance mods. I already have like a whole list of stuff I want to do to this car. The big thing is that I just needed to like fix all the maintenance stuff going on all my cars, like all the just terrible luck that's been going on, which is why, like, if you look at the last few episodes, there hasn't been anything like super exciting going on, but we're kind of like hopefully getting to the end of that. I want to try to get an intercooler for this car, and that actually might be a challenge, because if you know E60s, or if you know BMWs well, most parts from E90s don't fit on this car. So I'm going to try to use a intercooler from a 535D, and according to the blueprints, it should work. But that's probably the next thing after I figure out this iDrive thing. Or maybe before.